Some communes actually implemented drop zones in 2019, 2020. So I could not understand why, in 2023, it was still not fully implemented. But I guess in Brussels, you need to take into account with the opinion of each commune
No, it's more like you had communes who wanted to go faster and who didn't want to wait the regulatory framework.
Yep.
And so they implemented it. Like we started last year. So to immediately have this certain zone regulated.
Yep.
And now we're also continuing. The regulatory framework it has to pass one last time, I think, in the regional the parliament.
Yep.
But the preparations are going on because we need to, something needs to be done. And so now once you have this regulatory framework for the 90, it's like you have to compare it with the whole of Flanders. Huh? There is much of diversity in Flanders. It's one region. Brussels is 19 communes,
exactly.
But there will be one framework.
Yep.
In Flanders, there will be, 250 regulatory frameworks.
Yep.
And so one city that is where it's not authorized, other cities where it is authorized. Here in Brussels, it will be for 1.2 million people. It will be one coherent zone.
Okay, so from now on, it will be all the same regulations all over Brussels.
Yeah.
With the new tender, when the tender is finalized.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna be better actually because the parking regulations will be the same all over.
It's just like what I said in the beginning. They had let the scooters in without all the drop zones, but now you have all these communes who need to create these drop zones. But like for the city of Brussels, it's 200 to 300 drop zones. That's a lot.
Yep.
I cannot snap my fingers and create these drop zones. So that it needs time. It's also not the only issue of a mobility issue in the city.
Yep.
And so that takes time for other communes as well. And I have the impression that a lot of communes are really moving on the subject. So that's a good thing.
Once you have the drop zones, sometimes you still need to regulate it, right? And make sure that they actually respect the rules because coming here to Brussels, I was walking and I saw that there was a truck driver who had to get out of the truck and replace scooters because there was a drop zones, but there were so many scooters in that drop zone. So he couldn't pass. So I was wondering how you will, try to fix those challenges in the future because those challenges, even when you have the drop zones,
I think that's not my job to look for the solution. I think the solution is technology, and the solution there is that the operators have to have a kind of system where the drop zones will, once it's full, then they have to go somewhere else to park their scooter. And so I think there I really look at the sector to come with solutions because finally it's their users that need to have a certain comfort.
Exactly.
When they see there are already 10 scooters in that drop zone, I will direct the user to another my client as an operator, my client to another drop zone where there are less because what we will do is we will make sure that there are enough drop zones. But then it could be that one zone is heavily used. Yeah,
and I think now you have 9 operators. I guess once the tender is over and there's only 2,
it will be easier.
It will be easier, right?
Because now it's every operator has to adapt their system. They have to implement the plan with the drop zones, and they have to adapt it themselves. It takes some time. Sometimes there is an error, and so it's quite a lot of work. It will be easier once there are just 2.
Actually, because I wanted to ask you these questions regarding the number of operators after the tender, right?
For me, the most important thing is the number of scooters finally in the region.
Yes.
Because that really has to be reduced. They are too much. They just I sometimes wonder what the financial
they don't look
system is because it costs something.
It's burning money.
And so how can you have a financial sound plan when you just put enormous amounts of these scooters everywhere, and so reducing the number for me, because finally the people will come with complaints to me.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's an important element. I heard also that there is discussion about too. Is it dangerous? Maybe prices will go up. We have to follow that up. My opinion is that I think that it's quite pricey at the moment. Sometimes I wonder how, I see a lot of young people using the scooters. Sometimes I really wonder, well, how do they pay for you're quickly you pay 2-3 euros for one ride, and that's not cheap. And that's something I wonder, and I see that operators are also thinking about social systems,
social tariffs, and
tariffs
implemented. Bolt.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing that they take it into account, because that's something we'll have to look into.